Hi YouTube, welcome to my newest psychic reading. I am Lamarr Townsend. If you're new, I'm a psychic, an energy channeler, a tarot reader, and an astrologer. Thank you for listening and watching. I am a self-made psychic, tarot reader, astrologer, self-taught. Alright, so I've been in the business for quite a few years, 7 years now. So if you want to see the different types of services and products I offer, check out my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. I am available for readings and I would love to read for you. I do mediumship readings if you want to connect to your ancestors, spirit guides, and angels. I do past life readings if you want to learn about your past lives. I also do natal chart, birth chart readings if you want to know about your sun, moon, rising, and all placements in between. I also do compatibility natal chart readings as well if you want to compare your natal chart to someone else's. I also do candles and so much more. So if you'd be interested in any of these things, then definitely check out my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. Like I said, I'm available and I would love to read for you. In this video, this is part one. We're going to be doing a psychic reading on Generation Z. All right, the generation behind the millennials, which I'm a part of the millennials. But I often get mistaken for being a part of a Generation Z, or I just automatically get clumped into Generation Z, I guess because I'm young looking. Speaking of which, I have a funny story. I went to go see the new Scream over the weekend, the Scream 5 that just came out, which was really good, by the way. Sad, but good. And I was waiting, and a woman went ahead of me. She looked about my age. I'm 30. She looked about my age, maybe a little bit younger, in her late 20s. And I don't think the woman carded her. I didn't notice her carding the woman. So I was like, oh, okay, she won't card me, no problem. Not even thinking that it's Scream, it's rated R. So I got up to the counter. I'm already late. And I'm like frantic. I don't want to miss the previews. I don't want to miss, the movie. I know previews are long and things of that nature. But at the same time, like, I just didn't want to miss the movie. So I get to the counter, and I'm just expecting her to like, I'm like, can I get one for Scream? And I'm just expecting her to like, just be, oh yeah, sure, it's this much. She goes, oh sure, can I see ID? And I was like, ID. And I got kind of like irritated. I was like, is she serious? Like, I'm 30 damn years old. You need the ID for me to see a movie, girl. It's not like y'all have drink. Do y'all got drinks up in there? But anyway, I gave her my ID, and then I was waiting for her to give me my ticket. And like, just out of like curiosity, I asked her. I was like, do I just really look that young? Or that you ask me for my ID, or do you ask everyone that? Because I noticed, she didn't ask the one before me, so I wanted to see what she would say. Just a nice, lovely white woman, like what white girl or however old she was. She looked maybe 18 at the youngest. So I guess young woman. But anyway, she was like, no, I literally thought you were like 17 years old. Like I literally thought, I didn't know, so I asked for your ID. I was like, what? Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was like a funny little story. I always get mistaken for being a part of a Generation Z, but I am not. I am a millennial. But I feel like we're alike in a lot of ways, millennials and Generation Z. However, in this reading specifically, we will be focusing on Generation Z people. Let's go ahead and first cleanse the energies, all right, in the room. This is part one, and in part one, we will just be channeling the energies. So I will not be using cards or anything like that. I will just be tapping into spirit and seeing what messages spirit has about Generation Z, maybe for Generation Z, maybe so that we can better understand Generation Z. They're the new up and comers, so the new generation always has a large part in shaping the world. It seems like as we get deeper into the 21st and other centuries. So anyway, I will be channeling the energy in this one. Part two, I will be pulling actual tarot cards. So if you want to see the tarot spread for this reading, go ahead and become a member of my YouTube channel by clicking the join button wherever it is. You might have to go on the computer to click the join button. Once you click the join button, pick a tier, and you'll have access to part two of this reading, as well as access to so much other content that I posted for members of my YouTube channel. By the way, members, if you didn't know, you do have your own playlist. I know I have a ton of playlists, but that's just so you can binge watch my content. But I have a playlist that is specifically curated, and I try to be as, correct as possible in curating my content, for my YouTube members. You all do have your playlist. I think by now it's like at least over 70 videos, 77 videos, I think maybe 78 videos of content just purely for YouTube members for you to binge on. So go ahead and binge on that content. All right, let's go ahead and cleanse the energies. Thank you for cleansing and clearing the energy of this deck or this space from any past readings. Thank you for opening up a channel so that I can get a good reading. Oh, I'm already getting some energy. So that I can get a good reading on Generation Z. And just thank you, Father God, for allowing the angels, ancestors, protectors, and spirit guides to come through to give me messages about and for this new generation of young people coming through to shape the world called Generation Z. In the name of the Mother, the Daughter, the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. Amen, amen, amen. Oh, I'm excited now. Okay. What messages does Spirit have for and about the Generation Z? The first thing I'm seeing, and that's what I was seeing as I was praying, it looks like a home. It looks like a home that's structured differently from a typical home. The typical home that we know as, I guess, millennials and, beyond us, is this structure of, you have this, the triangle here, and then the square, right? And then, you basically build on that. But this home I'm seeing is more like intricate. It's like almost like it's a bit inverted, but it protrudes in certain areas at the same time. And I'm also picking something about solar panels or like a solar system. I'm hearing immediately star seeds. Like there's something about these Generation Z children or young people coming up where there's starseed energy that they have. There's a parallel between star seeds and their spiritual generation, right? I'm hearing also according to astrology, so I'm thinking Generation Z may take astrology, possibly even spirituality, a bit more serious than other generations previous before them. Like I feel like there's going to be something about a little bit of a superstitious energy, believing in ghosts, believing in places that can be haunting, believing in you don't mess with the dead kind of thing, like almost like a respect or a reverence. There is going to be a breaking of tradition with this new generation, Generation Z, and I feel like this also goes deep into the family traditions even, where, trying to think of an example, what would be an example, Spirit? Maybe where the tradition in a family was to one generation after the other take over the family business. But with the way the world is changing and how it's going to change once Gen Z comes up more, people are going to want to do less of those traditional things and go more of their own path, their own calling. Which I feel like Generation Z is going to be big with traveling, blogging, vlogging, things of this nature. Technology, the utilization of technology. I'm hearing self-policing, but I don't. This is all alleged for entertainment purposes only, by the way. But I'm hearing what I think Spirit means by that is like almost like, of course, now we have our own phone devices, and we've had it since the mid early 2000s. So it's like the news becomes maybe a bit less relevant with Gen Z, and it becomes this is the news from my personal perspective. I'm here right now in the moment, capturing the footage, blogging from my camera, blogging from this, like there's something with that. I kind of feel like, you guys, this is interesting. I kind of feel like Generation Z is going to be a problem for the. This is all alleged for entertainment purposes only. I feel like they're going to be. I don't know if I want to say a problem, but they're going to challenge the media, the news, reportings, even down to like celebrity news and stuff like that. Right? I think they're going to care less about celebrities. Generation Z. I think there's going to be certain people they do care about. I think they're going to have their own version of celebrities. To generations previous before them, I think, some of us maybe are going to look at this generation of people and it's like, why are they famous? Why are they so big with Gen Z? But there's something about Gen Z where I don't think the glitz and the glamour of Hollywood and of, a certain lifestyle of, having, this and that at the palm of your hands, I don't think that calls to them as much. I think for them it's more so about experience. It's more so about, I hear, making the world a better place, a more habitable place, for all, and I feel like that includes animals. I think they're going to be more into studying the land, maybe as they get older, specifically. I think it's possible also with Generation Z, there's going to be some sort of almost like a clashing, but what I'm seeing is there's going to be some sort of overlapping or collision between spirituality and religion with this new generation. Once again, old traditions. If the family grew up going to church, even down to the millennials, that Generation Z child or kids, grandchildren, whatever, nieces, nephews, maybe those one, that break that kind of cycle of, we don't like church. We don't, we want to, do this. We like this or that show, and it's like you kind of want to, even when they're young, pay, it's like, it just, the energy I get with them is like, whereas we would follow tradition, the answers are going to lie in what these young Gen Zs are looking to, what they're doing, what they're hip to, and stuff like that. So pay attention to the cartoons and things of that they're drawn to, because there may be deeper messages that they're tapped into that they don't know, that you don't know. Maybe they know, but you don't know. There's something about these Gen Z people that are smarter than they seem. They're really smart though, y'all. There's something about like being able to tap into computer systems and um what do you do with a chainsaw? You hack away at wood or whatever you're trying to chain down, right? So kind of pick up the meaning of that message if you can. This is all alleged for entertainment purposes only, but I get something with that where like they are, where there's a will, there's a way with these new group of kids. I guess you could say it's almost like they're like the freshmen. I guess you could say but that's kind of every generation. Where there's a will, there's a way with these group of children. They are coming to dismantle the system, a lot of systems. I feel like there's something even where they could be dismantling a system of, I don't know why I'm seeing dating apps. or the way we use technology to communicate, convene, to keep in touch with each other. They're going to influence that too. I think with Gen Z, we may see, gone are the days of maybe, a Facebook. Can you imagine that maybe? I think Gen Z is gonna want to be more interactive. I don't think it's posting the pictures and no, it's interacting on live stream, live camera. I don't know. I'm literally seeing being able to interact from your maybe obviously computer, because that's what we're doing now essentially. But like your TV. I think they're gonna have TVs where either you can hook up some sort of software or thing so that you can literally stream from your TV. May also relate to gaming, or there's going to be TVs embedded with like some sort of streaming software, which is going to be weird, and it's going to have its moments, and there's going to be people probably wanting to tape over it at times, but it's also similar to Amazon Echo, right? You also have to remember the world that these children have grown up in. The millennials, my group, my generation group was the last generation to grow up before, and to understand the life before technology really boomed. You know. So in the millennials' childhood, we grew up, technically a life, without technology. But this Generation Z, honey, they were born with a phone in their hand, all right, or a tablet. And I think maybe I'll end the reading on this note, and we'll get into part two. Because the internet and technology is going to be so integral to Generation Z, and I think millennials are going to also back the Generation Z's up too, because it's become integral to our lives as well, and as well as everyone. They're going to change the internet, technology, social media, the way these things are consumed. They're going to protect it, but also save it as well. So it's going to actually be the Generation Zs and the millennials, pushing behind the Generation Zs and picking up clues from the Generation Zs, because Generation Z people are the types of people where they have a certain way of communicating with each other, or communicating where it's like you're either hip or you're not. And it's kind of like that with every generation, but with this new generation, it's like very meta too. It's metaverse, right? It's very meta, and it's very interesting, right? So you kind of have to know their language, right? And if you know their language, it's almost like they'll let you in the club, and you get to see behind the veil of what's actually going on behind the Wizard of Oz. Lots of electrical machinery and switches and different things like that, right? But that to me signifies the internet. So if somehow, some way, Generation Z is going to be a huge part of the internet, and either the movement forward of it. I feel like both the movement forward of it and the protection of it as well. I'm going to end there, you guys. Thank you for listening and watching. I am going to go ahead and get into part two, where we will pull some cards. Thank you for listening and watching. Remember, if you want a personal reading, check out my website, LamarrTownsendTarot.com. I am available for readings, and I would love to read for you. Thank you all who have been getting readings from me. Thank you so much for your feedback, and I thank you all. Usually, my readings, typically, I get them back within 1 to 3 days or less. Sometimes it's 1 to 2 days or less, depending on how busy I am. My books are clear right now, so I'm not too busy, right? I do have a few readings to get back, but if you get your reading now, you'll most likely get it back within 1 to 2 days. All right. Also, follow me on my other platforms. Instagram, be mindful that I only have one page on Instagram. There is some sort of weird thing going on where people, duplicate your page and then try to, follow your followers, and it's a weird thing. So just be mindful of fake pages on Instagram, but also follow me on my Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. All my platforms, I only have one page. My podcast on Spotify, Google, Anchor. my Patreon. I just posted actually today a conversation on my Patreon with Nikola Tesla about the power of the mind, which I thought was a really good video. So let me know what you, my patrons, thought about in the comment section below here, but also on Patreon. All right. Love you all. I'll see you in the next video. I'll see you in your own personal reading. Either way, I'll see you soon. Love and light. God bless.